Well, here we go again. Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be watching a video from Jubilee. Now this will be my first reaction video, and like I said in my channel trailer, I'll be trying not to talk as fast anymore, but like I said, man, I'm gonna be doing a whole lot of stuff, but just whatever comes to my mind at the time. Fitness, reactions, sports, you're gonna get a little bit of everything. But I want to get my thoughts on this. I've been watching a lot of Jubilee lately, and I decided to go back and see like where are their most viewed videos. I want to see those. That's what I want to watch, and I want to just get my opinion like as soon as I watch it. So I was like, okay, bro, this is a great first reaction video to do. Do all men think alike, man? Do all men agree? So there's been a lot of talk about men and us doing different things, us becoming more independent. And now when I say more independent, I'm not saying like away from women. I'm just saying us having a different mindset on how they think and figuring out how it is we need to approach them. But without getting too deep into that, I wonder where they tackled that in this video, or will it be a little bit different? It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be an interesting concept to dive into. Hopefully they got a good diversity of people in it, and I feel like that's gonna make it a whole lot better. But let's get on to it without me ranting anymore. Make sure it's up good. Yes. All right, let's get into this.
The way the old school ways work, they did work, we just messed it up.
So that's important to you, to be like the breadwinner?
I skipped a little bit because they do, they do the little intros and stuff at the beginning. So let me skip a little bit. So here we go. Okay, good demographic here. I already like this. I am worried about the size of my penis. Should I answer each one as they present the question? I mean, I could. And quick answers, no. But let's see what they say. That's funny. I'll never worry about it. I like how the two brothers go over to the right.
This is a good question. I like this. It's just a normal thing to be worried about. Like when you're growing up, like you're like, am I normal? You know, like. I hate this.
I guess he's taking it from, is they like he said when growing up. Are we talking about now or back then when you know?
Like, eventually I was like, nah, I'm fine.
I feel like this whole conversation is just like bringing to my awareness how impressionable and like how much of our lives and our masculinity is defined by when we're kids. When everybody's like, oh, you gotta have a big dick, you gotta have a big dick. And all you see is like, only time you see a dick is on porn and it's like 14 inches, then it's like, well, mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
Then of course you're gonna like start thinking about it versus.
I'm actually changing my answer.
See, everybody changed their answer, which I kind of see. He's talking about. Let me pause for a second. They're talking about. In my mind, I'm thinking how the other guys were thinking in the beginning. You talking about like right now, no. But if you're talking about how people felt growing up, that's a different conversation, right? So growing up, you don't know what to think about that. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get demonetized before I'm even monetized, but I guess I shouldn't care. But yeah, okay, I see where they're coming from now. If you're taking that angle, I feel like if you say now versus back then, you can definitely see where they're coming from.
I changed my mind because what he said was, it made a lot of sense, because I remember the first time I saw porno and I saw a black guy's penis, I was like, I'm not like that. As I got older, I perfected my craft. I've never had a
perfected my craft. I like that.
The penis, it's all about, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. You just love a woman, you embrace each other, and it's just, I've never had a problem with a woman since then.
I think for younger guys, this is the concern that I'm realizing is like, maybe if these discussions were more open about size and whatever, and that really over time it all becomes okay and it's fine, maybe that would help a lot.
For sure, for sure. Oh man, I like this. I like that one. Okay. So should a man pay for the first date? Who asked who? I feel like if a lot of women now want equality, who asked who? That's just how I feel about it. Now, do I have a problem with paying? No, I don't have a problem with paying. How old school are you? How far is your thinking on that one? It's gonna be interesting to see who answers what. But for me, who asks who. Most of the time, men ask. So I'm gonna pay for the first date. That's not a problem. I don't mind paying, but at the same time, if a woman has the courage to ask a guy and he and she, you know, talk about it, I feel like you need to kind of see where she at on that. Either y'all need to be splitting it or something like that. Either split it or she pay for the whole thing. I feel like if we're living in times where equality is such a big thing, they shouldn't mind paying. But would I pay if I ask? Yeah, I mean, there's no problem. No problem. Let's get into it. Let's see what they say.
2, 1, go.
I want to hear these reasonings. I like how he jumped all the way over. I'm like somewhat.
I like the way the old school ways work.
Somewhat agree, somewhat disagree. I'm somewhere in the middle.
So that's important to you to like take that leadership role, to be,
Tradition.
to be like the breadwinner.
I'm the caretaker of society. I don't even like saying it this way. Once you give the woman the power, then you just demasculate yourself. I want to stick to what's made me happy, and my grandparents, my parents. I'm just gonna. It's not perfect, but it works.
All right, we back.
Be a man, plain and simple.
I don't know. I think we're just getting in dangerous territory when we start talking about chivalry. At the end of the day, it's like, yo, baby, if you want to pay for this, like, there is no hierarchy here. Like, if you want to pay for this, and maybe next time I'm like, I just got a check, so I'll pay for it.
Wasn't
I'm
this
with
the first
that.
meal though? You
Yeah,
said?
the first one.
Okay. You only get one chance to make a first impression.
What does it matter if it's a girl or a guy? It's 2019, and your logic shouldn't be, like, no disrespect, like, oh, because my grandpa did it and it worked for him, then it works for me. If she's not gonna date me that second time because I didn't pay for her, I think I dodged a bullet.
I'm with you on that.
I support the Me Too movement.
I support the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement. Ooh, now you're getting sticky. So I'm gonna tell you how it is and how it's gonna be. So I feel like the Me Too movement, like with a lot of other movements, you have people who benefit truly and people who do not. And what I mean by that is every movement has been rotten. And I don't want to say every movement has been rotten. Most movements are rotten by people who abuse whatever it is or over exaggerate whatever it is. And I'm not saying Me Too is over exaggerated, but a lot of people causes the movement to not be as good as it should be, and the people who really needed the movement, the people who really needed it, don't get the recognition because you have the bad apples on the other side ruining it for everybody. It's just like the one thing one thing that has been true for a long time: one bad apple will ruin a whole bunch. And that's what happens with a lot of movements. I feel like it has good points, but then I feel like, okay. But I'm gonna see what they say. Let's see.
3, 2, 1, go.
See, look, I would have been like this guy right here.
Be real.
I'm kind of like this guy right here. He's like, I don't kind of.
At first, when I saw it, you know, and talking to my friends, and family, a lot of people in the South, they're like, these women should have spoke up a long time ago. And then I had to like step aside and really process it for myself and be like, you know what? She didn't feel comfortable, and she wasn't in a society, in a place where it was acceptable for her to say anything about it.
Yes,
So
I
now
agree
they
with
have
that.
The platform and the ability,
But I wonder if somebody gonna
like,
kind of
that's
say what
amazing.
I'm
Speak your
thinking
truth.
before I had to say
When you
it.
tell a child who is accused of rape by a woman, has his whole life destroyed, and then people just go,
There's always going to be people that take advantage of it. It's not going to be perfect. We're figuring it out as we go, but I think it's done more good than it's done bad.
I think we get to acknowledge the bad though.
Yes,
Like,
that's it.
That's
it.
why I'm doing like.
See,
these
I'm with
things,
you.
like,
That's what I
for us
mean.
to
You
say,
gotta
"Oh, he did
acknowledge the
that to me,"
bad,
and
the
all of a sudden
bad
now we've,
apple.
like vindicated. That guy is like vilified. Like there is no
It's-
chance of like.
I want to pause you. It's hard for a guy to get his life back once he's been lied on like that. And it doesn't matter. You always like, even if they're 100% vindicated, even if it goes and everybody knows it was a lie, it's almost as if people still give that person a side eye. And they never get the same punishment that the guy would have gotten if it happened to them. Now, if they did it for real, I'm all with take them down all the way, take them all the way down. But like I said, that bad apple, you gotta remember the bad apple as well.
Him having a say in the conversation.
Trial
we get to
by
have a
mob
conversation
is
every
not
time.
good. Like, this mob mentality is bad. I
Yeah.
agree with that, but I don't think that's exclusive to the Me Too movement.
No, it's not.
We're using it right now to say, oh, that person is
Well,
bad.
that's why I
oh,
said
fuck that
movements
person.
with S.
There's no further conversations being happening. If it's a movement to say, yes, okay, this hierarchy we've created of men and women, which is a result of the way men are expected to act, that women are expected to act. Let's have those conversations and everything changes, and I'll be over there all fucking day.
Right. That guy right there, he got a good concept of how everything is going. I've been kind of agreeing with him for the most part.
Overblown. Wait, what? Overblown. What is that?
Can you use a different word?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the exact right word.
Yeah, I think I just somewhat agree that it's blown out of proportion, because I think what happens with social media is a group of people coin a term, and now we're all painted by it.
Like, we are not in like a post, I don't know, like rape culture world, you know, like women are being catcalled every day. And so like men are still, I think, seen or experienced as like a predatory presence to women. So like, that's why I just don't think it's like overblown. I think it's just, it's new.
If we were good men, there wouldn't be feminists, they wouldn't be attacking us, they wouldn't be hating us. You have a lot of guys who don't want to commit to marriage. You have a lot of guys who catcall. So yes, men have become toxic. And once again, I have to be consistent with all my beliefs and all my morals. I'm very traditional.
I see what you're saying, but the way you're framing it, like this word moral is kind of,
We don't know what that is anymore, though. That's
well,
the
it's like, it
problem.
sounds like you're saying like it's men's job to be like the moral compass of society.
It is.
I think it's everyone's job.
It's everybody's, but men, if men want to coin themselves as the leaders, you have to hold up to the good and the bad.
That's part of the problem, though. Like, that's what I think toxic masculinity
Toxic
is.
masculinity.
It's putting too much pressure on yourself. I mean, it's very obvious that we're grappling
I'll talk
with,
about
like,
it after
the history and
they
the
get done
damage
with this
of, like,
question.
what a world completely run by men does to us. That's why I think we're talking about toxic masculinity.
It's hard for me to kind of put that all in one kind of bubble. Toxic masculinity. I think we're living in a time now where a lot of things are just toxic, and it's for a whole lot of different things that I'm not even gonna talk about in this video in particular. But what I will say is, with the way social media is now, how everything is such now, everything's so quick. All that plays a part in how everything is perceived, because everybody is gonna jump on everything very, very quick. And what does that got to do with toxic masculinity? When somebody sees something that they perceives as toxic masculinity, maybe what masculinity supposed to be. But at the same time, people will look at that and say men shouldn't do that. You being toxic. Maybe this is what men were supposed to do, but it's blown out of proportion. That's one side of it. On the flip side of that, some people could just take advantage of, oh, I'm the man. I'm going to do and say whatever I want. So it's just a fine line between both. It's a fine line between both. You got some on one side that's being toxic, but then you got the other side that cannot handle the truth. And when I say sides, I'm just talking about society as a whole. People have difference of opinion. So what should be right and what should be wrong? It's such a generic answer, Dave. What are you talking about? I'm comfortable in showing my emotions. Not, I can say not at all. I'm not. I'm getting better, but I'm not comfortable at all. I can agree with that.
It's been like harped upon me for years that like showing my emotions were bad, and like me trying not to be gay. I'm like, no, like I don't want to show these emotions because I'm not gay. I can't be gay. Like I'm not supposed to be gay. Like the church tells me, my dad tells me, my mom tells me, everybody's telling me I'm not supposed to be gay. So like just understanding that at 25, now 26, like I'm over here like, okay, like, oh, you're insecure. Okay, that's what that feels like. Oh, you're sad. That's what that feels like. I can now be aware of those things, but to show them to other people right now is like really hard for me.
I do feel like I'm very verbally like about my emotions with my wife, but I wouldn't agree completely because I'm not like that with anyone else. I mean, I just failed a college class and I was crying about it to my wife, but no one else at school saw me cry, you know? I specifically
And nobody
texted
else
my
gonna
wife,
see me
make sure
cry.
the kids are asleep by the time I come home because
There's only one. There's
it's
only
gonna be like, as soon as I
handful of
stepped
people
through
who
that
saw me
threshold
crying.
to
A
my
lot of
house,
it
I
was at
just gotta
my
let go, and I didn't want
pop's
them to
funeral.
see that. But like the next day, I sat down and I had that conversation with them. Like, hey, I just want to let you guys know, you know, your dad didn't pass this class, and they're like, oh, are you okay? And I'm
Next
like, yeah,
time,
of course.
you
You know,
just
like,
cry in front of your kids, man. I remember like seeing my dad cry for the first time when his mom died, and I remember like imprinting that in my mind as like, wow, you know, like my dad can be upset, and that was like an important thing to witness.
It's reality, emotion.
Yeah, it's real.
I was raised by two parents that I never ever saw cry. The effect that that had on me was by the time one of them passed away very suddenly, I didn't really seem to be affected at all. So I've actually had to do a lot of therapy on that. This thing about masculinity not being able to show your emotions is very bad.
I feel like he gonna be.
Puts us
Oh,
backwards
okay.
in society, and we need to be thinking.
I heard
about
music,
how
so I was
we
like, he probably gonna be
tap
last one to
into our
talk.
emotions in a healthy way together.
That last question, like for me, and I'm hoping one day I can get my fiance to come on here and do a reaction with me or something. But she and my mom are the only people who really ever seen any kind of emotion in terms of sadness or something like that. Other than people who's at, like I said, my pop's funeral. Other than that, those are the only two people. Nobody else. And right now, I probably wouldn't. Now, you have other emotions, but you know, of course, they talking about being sad or talking about how you feel about different things. Now, I don't have a problem saying how I feel about something as in, like, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. But in terms of emotionally, like that, like sadness and stuff like that in general, if I don't like something, I tell somebody I don't like it. Or if I do like something, I tell somebody I do like that. But in terms of that emotion in particular, it's kind of hard. Now, this video was, I feel like there's some things they didn't touch on in the video, but I still think they touched on some good key stuff in the video, man. I think it's a pretty good watch. A lot of people could watch this video, and I would like to know others' take on this topic, man. Look, if y'all new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Most of y'all probably gonna be new, unless you're coming from my gaming channel. But thank you guys for watching, man. If y'all want to see more reactions on different videos, I might just go through Jubilee's like top videos that look interesting that I might want to watch and do reactions on those. But I see you in the next one, man. Continue to have an amazing time.